Okay, part 2 then says that the tangent at the circle at point A, so down here, the tangent at the circle meets the x-axis at point B. So if I draw a line like this, I need to extend my line, then this forms a triangle AOB, where B's here. And he wants us to find the area of this full triangle. Now the key to this is realising or remembering for your GCSE maths that tangents and radiuses, or in this case diameters, meet at right angles. So if we can find this length here, and the length of A to B, we can do half the base times the height. Now O to A is actually really easy, because we know from the way we changed the equation, or the way the equation looked in part 1, that the radius of the circle is root 17. So the length of O to A is just 2 lots of that. So that's fine, that's nothing to worry about at all. The tricky bit is going to be working out the length of A to B. We're going to need to know the equation of the line A to B, and then we're going to need to know where it hits the x-axis. So first job is to find the equation of the line A to B. A to B. So how do we do that? Well, we know that the gradient of the line is going to be the negative reciprocal of the line from part A. So because we've got y equals minus a quarter x from part A, the gradient of AB needs to be 4 because it's at right angles. So positive 4. We also even know the coordinates of A. Because we know C's coordinates is 4 across and 1 down, to get from C to A, we're just going to do the same thing again because it's a diameter. So A's coordinates are 4 across and 1 down from C. So that's going to be 8 across and 2 down. So we can use this to find the equation of the line AB using your y minus y1. So that's going to be y plus 2, using the minus 2 here, is equal to x minus x1, so x minus 8. So that's y plus 2 is equal to 4x take 32. So that's y equals 4x minus 34. Oops, 34. So that tells us that the y-intercept would be minus 34. We want the x-intercept though, so we need to make y equal to 0, which is going to give us 4x equals 34. So x is 34 over 4, which is 17 over 2. So that's a bit annoying. So this is the coordinate 17 over 2, 0. So now that we know the equation of the line, we found the point B, we now need to know the distance from A to B. We know, as we said earlier, we know the distance from O to A, we need to know the distance A to B. So in order to find that, we're going to have to use our Pythagoras equation, or the distance between 2 points, which is your x1 minus x2 squared plus y1 minus y2 squared square rooted, where let's make the 17 over 2 0, which is B, be our first one, so that can be our x1, y1, and the other point, which was A, I don't know why I've done it this way around, was, oh yeah, 8 minus 2. So that's going to be our x2 and our y2. So plugging it in, we're going to get, so this is for the length of A to B. We're we're going to get 17 over 2 minus 8 squared plus 0 minus 2, so that's going to be 0 plus 2 squared square rooted. So this is looking pretty awful at the moment. You might be thinking you've made a mistake, but you haven't, don't worry. To shrink this fraction down, I'm going to rewrite 8 as 16 over 2, and hopefully from there you can see it's all going to start simplifying quite nicely. 17 over 2 minus 16 over 2 is just 1 over 2, so if we square 1 over 2 we're going to get a quarter. So this is a half squared, so we've got a quarter plus 4, but if I don't write it as 4, if I write it as 16 over 4, I can simplify the fraction and I will get the 17's come back. I'm going to get 17 over 4, which I can rewrite as root 17 over 2. So that's the length of A to B. So if I redraw my triangle now, we had this kind of thing. We had a right angle here. We now know that this length is root 17 over 2, and we knew that that length was, oops, did I write it down? Oh, it was 2 root 17 because it was the diameter of the circle and the radius of the circle was root 17. So now, and you can see hopefully this is how they set the question up, because when we times these together and divide by 2 to get the area, the root 17s are going to multiply together to give us a rational answer. Half the base times the height, so half of root 17 over 2 times 2 root 17. That 2 can cancel with one of these 2's. The root 17 times root 17 is going to be 17. We've got 1 over 2 left. So the final